All right, here we go. Malik Lee, happy to have you on the platform, my man.
Appreciate it. Glad to be here.
So most people know you for being the bodyguard for Snoop, and you actually being the one that unfortunately had to kill him in defense of Snoop. So we definitely gotta go back to that day, man, and talk about that, man. But before we do that, man, I want to get into some of the latest news regarding Snoop. How you feel about the news that broke about Snoop coming out with a biopic on his life directed by Allen Hughes?
Man, well, for me, my phone blew up. I started getting all kind of calls, about okay, it's finally here, it's about to happen. I'm happy. I mean, I'm happy for him. To be honest with you, I'm happy for us, to be honest, because that was history. You know what I mean? And I think God now finally there's going to be the truth, the real story is going to come out. Because if they're making this story, if they make this story, and I'm saying if because I don't know how, what direction they want to go or how they're going, but if they tell the real story about Snoop's life and how and why he needed a bodyguard, then everything is going to make sense. You know what I mean? It's going to make sense because everything has to have a why. There's a reason why he had to have that bodyguard. There's a reason why. So once you get into that part of his life, when they get to that point, it's going to make sense, why he needed a bodyguard.
Have you reached out to you?
Not yet, but that's another thing. For me, man, it's like Snoop is a man of his word, and no matter what happened over the years, no matter what has transpired, I believe still that, he's going to reach out and, he's going to reach out to me because right after the trial, we had promised that there wouldn't be a movie made unless we did it together. The story had to be told and we were going to do that together. So I'm waiting on my call. I'm waiting on my call. I mean, but look, how can you really have a story, that story without me? Has nothing to do with pride. Has nothing to do with pride. But how can you have that story without me? The whole case, the whole case was really about me. It wasn't about Snoop. It was about me, the trigger man, the person that said committed murder. It wasn't Snoop. It was me. It's what I did. So you can't have that movie, honestly, without me. My perspective, what I went through, what I saw, what happened, because I was a trigger man. And everybody knows now, they know the story. If you don't know the story, I told the truth from the very beginning, and they said that I was too detailed and too articulate that I must be lying. They didn't arrest us. We turned ourselves in. So once we turned ourselves in and I gave my statement that I was a trigger man, I was placed under arrest. They let Snoop go. They had, his bail. He made bail. I was at no bail. So we'll get into all of that, man. But the story, all of that, it wasn't about Snoop. It wasn't about anything that he did. They tried to paint a picture that he did something, but it wasn't anything that he did other than being a shooting star. And his life was about to take off at that particular time. And his bodyguard had protected him. And we'll get into that later on. So I'm waiting. Think about it though. In the beginning, you got an up and coming star. Why would I even be important? Why would I? Listen to this. Why would I be important? You got a star right here. If I got a star who was involved in a murder case and I have somebody that says that they saw him with a gun, I'm going to run with that. They don't care about the truth. They don't care about that. No, look, they don't care about the truth, man. They didn't care nothing about me. They didn't care anything about me. They cared about that. It was a powerful black man right now, and we got him. That's what they cared about. They didn't care nothing about the truth. So when I sat down and told them the truth, oh my God, no. He's too articulate. He's too detailed. He has to be lying. That's what they told me. Go get the transcripts. Go get the transcripts. When they brought me in the room, they sat me down and they said, okay, what happened? I remember the Detective Agliano sitting, he crossed his legs and said, okay, honestly, what he really wanted to say, and I felt it, let's hear this nigger speak. That's really what it was, because I shocked him. I shocked him with the truth. It had nothing to do with Snoop. He was the what was it? The meal ticket, right? So you have this young DA that is about to, he has something that he can spark his career with, right? And then you have the powerful Johnny Cochran now coming in. So to him, that was his nest egg. He was about to make money on this. He didn't care about the truth. You have this, you have the gangster rap coming from Dr. Dre, now morphing into, this new artist coming up who's claiming to be a gangster, who's claiming to be all, and now you get the shooting, the murder trial that validates him. They didn't care nothing about the truth. If they did, we would not be here talking. Because the truth was, Snoop didn't do it, Malik Lee did, his bodyguard. And we told you that from the very beginning. We already told you that. So why are we here? That was the whole thing. So if we told you that, then at the grand jury indictment, you knew that, so I get what you're going to do. You're going to try to create you some facts. We're going to create this, and try to build a case. That's why, man, I love law, but I hate law. It's a bunch of lies. You try to build a case to make a truth instead of it being the truth. We had no business being tried for murder because it wasn't murder. It was self-defense from the very beginning. Now, with at the time he said he had so many years of behind the forest, his gut intuition should have told him after he got the facts again, wait a minute, you know what? This is a little different. We need to look at this. This is not indictable. They didn't do that. They saw money. They saw money. They saw money. They didn't care about nothing else. So for me, I look at it like whatever I had to go through, now looking back, is what I had to go through. I had to sacrifice that again for what? So he could be free. Not me. Because look, right before they got the verdict, Snoop, no. We went in the bathroom, remember? It was me and you. David Kenner wanted to go in the bathroom with us. Donald Ray wanted, you said, no, dog, just me and Malik. Remember that, Snoop? You said, look, man, they might find you guilty and me innocent. That's what Donald Ray and them be saying. But no matter what, I got you. It's me and you. I appreciate you. Blah, 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 blah. You remember that? Yeah. Had nothing to do with you or them. God allowed me to go through this for you. Again, another sacrifice. Because I was willing to go through and do what was necessary to give you, them, everybody else life. I died a long time ago. My life, it ain't mine.